Hey everybody, and welcome to Thrive Yoga and Wellness as we talk about Wama Baga Wednesday. This is week number 3, right?
Yep.
For our last 90 days challenge. And today we are going to be talking about the third chakra, otherwise known as
the navel or solar plexus, or
And
Manipura.
Manipura.
Manipura. Okay, so tell us where this chakra is. Oh, wait. First of all, my name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness. We have
Lesleigh.
and
I'm Merrit with the Energy Center and Thrive Yoga and Wellness. Happy to be with you today.
they refuse to disclose their last names, apparently.
My last name is Gwen.
Does anybody
Gwen.
remember our last name?
Gun. Anything
This
else
is sliding
that
down a
could be conveyed
slippery
as Gwen.
slope on feminism and how women rarely ever introduce
Yes.
themselves with first and last names. If you meet a guy, a man more statistically will introduce himself as John Doe. Women will just be Jane. And
I usually say Merrit Malouf.
Oh, you do?
I'm Merrit Malouf.
Oh, okay. There
Shake
you
your
go.
hand.
There you go.
I know that before, and this is, I mean, I've never really thought about this, but until, Jeremy and I got married, like, I'm Leslie Hips, like, here I am, but now I'm like, I'm Leslie, and I feel like, again, so we'll get into that, but I guess. But
This is why we brought this up today.
Yeah.
Because the solar plexus is about the sense of self.
And the masculine and feminine that you are, I guess, as you grow older, you identify with.
So, first of all, ladies, where is this? Where is the Manipura? Manipura.
The Manipura.
See if we can get you tapped in again this week, Jennifer.
Are you talking about the location? I know you usually talk about the location.
Well, it's find your belly button again, and it's a few inches above that. We're just gonna say a few this time,
Because the second chakra is 2 inches below.
around 2 inches. Yeah.
Around. And
Yeah.
so the Manipura is right above the belly button.
So I'm gonna do this for all the viewers and the masses. So I'm not gonna pull up my shirt, but here's your belly button. Here is your sacral chakra is going to be located here. Root is down here. Solar plexus is up here. So in between your rib cage, right here, and that name. I was talking to Merrit before we started, and I said this chakra is just jamming me up. Like, it's hard. It's a hard thing for me to grasp on. And even the name, solar plexus, everything else, like the root, I understand that because the root is the base of your spine. Sacral is related to a body part, even heart, throat. I know we don't have 3 eyes, but third eye is where your eye should be. But solar plexus, solar, you think sun. So I'm like, why is it named this? And it's because that's where all of the nerve roots, the ganglion, everything that happens, it all gathers here that is fueling the rest of your body. So you have your adrenal glands that it's connected to, and your all the nerves that are connected from your chest into your heart, that go to your brain. So everything is kind of central right here. It's a big powerhouse.
It is the powerhouse, and we receive a lot of energy through our solar plexus. That feeling that you've been kicked in the gut. If someone says something, you feel like it enters you right here.
Yes.
It's because it enters into that very powerful chakra, and we hold our self-worth there. So if we personalize what people say or we feel attacked, that's where we receive it. We may hold it down here, but it's received through there. So it's very important for everyone, especially women though, to make sure their solar plexus is strong and healthy. It has a lot to do with vitality and joy.
Right.
And the reason it feels hot is because the element associated with it is fire.
Yeah.
So fire energy is very important. There's a fire meditation in here where you focus on fire to help heal your solar plexus. So
I think
very important.
Jennifer
chakra.
and I have talked before, and if there's an element to identify each of us in our relationship, you got fire right here. Like, I mean, she's just.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were. And I was
No, I'm flighty. I'm air. I think you definitely portray that fire. Like you know who you are. I admire you for this. You know who you are,
thanks, dear.
and you don't ever back down from what you know is best and what you know is right for you and for others. And that's hard with this chakra, is to be able to not allow everything you've been taught to affect your thoughts, but also to honor yourself, you know.
Well, those are the
to
things we
back
need to
it.
reflect on, though, as we work toward healing the solar plexus, instead of labeling it as hard or bad, just to bring our awareness to it. And also, like, you have a lot of strength too. Right now, you may not be feeling all that strength, but to reflect on what your gifts are in this area. You're very intuitive, you know, you're very loving, and you honor others. And so that shows the strengths that you have in your solar plexus, and the parts that you feel are weaknesses. Then we bring that. We'll have us a fire. You know, I'll start you a fire for your solar plexus.
We love fires.
See, you guys, I wish that I could just throw in these random song lyrics that come in my head. Nobody here knows who Prodigy is in the Firestarter song, right?
I do know who Prodigy is. Remember, like,
Firestarter.
we're about the same age. So anyways.
Sorry, but I think that it's interesting, Merrit, that I'm so excited that you brought that up, because this is also the seat of our ego.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we have to really think what is good for me versus what is good for the time being. And it's more than just right now, it's long term. And it's hard when we start to identify with this chakra, with this area, to be ourselves, because you're taught sometimes to kind of tone it down, to not fly your flag as high as you want to. And that comes over time, but like you said, identification of this and honoring that.
Well, and that
knowing
criticism, that self-criticism, not only toward ourselves, but when we feel criticized by others, that's where it enters, is through here. And when we're critical of others as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of self-worth issue that makes us kind of check in before we put ourselves out there, maybe we need to do that some. Maybe that's okay, but we also need to make sure that we're living in alignment with our truth. And so when I feel like I have a pretty strong solar plexus. I've worked on it a lot, because I can be hypersensitive. I can be critical or expect people to do things in the way that I recognize them, and that
The right way.
but what is right or wrong?
Exactly.
What are those labels, you know? And just kind of a strong sense of acceptance and allowing people to be where they are is a sign of a strong solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
I've struggled with that a lot too.
I have too.
It was hard, because it was my way or the wrong way.
Yeah.
And
You
so
either do it my way or you're wrong.
or you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that was the struggle, especially early on in the marriage. And so, like, coming to terms with the fact that there's more than one right way of doing things, that's a big part of the self-discovery, and age has something to do with it, balancing
And wisdom, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also just kind of when you come into yourself in some regard, when you really are rooted in, okay, well, this is who I am. And kind of being okay in your own skin. That's something that I think for me came with life and experience, and trying to change myself around to be who I thought I needed to be for these people or these situations, and then finally just saying, you know what, I have gifts to share, and I'm not going to share them by playing small. And
I
just
love
kind of owning that
I love it.
is how we begin to be rooted in our solar plexus.
Do you think that there's a little bit more about the fact that we're all mothers as well? Scoot in here, because I feel like you're falling off the camera. Do you feel like as a mother, like, and I'm like, we're in the midst of it. Yours baby's now
In the
longer.
weeds.
We're in the
Trenches.
weeds. We're in the trenches. And
For
you're
us right
on the
now,
other side.
we don't know what Merrit. I mean, like, Merrit has a grown daughter, and you know, we don't know that yet. So we could say we're in the trenches. It's so hard. We have no idea what's coming.
That's true.
I would say, yeah, that as you're raising your children, the solar plexus is probably out of whack most of the time.
Everything's out of whack.
Do more yoga.
Yeah. I wrote down some stuff, and I'm just gonna get my notes here and read it.
Read it.
So, but when we're operating from the Manipura area. It's drives us to attach to what we do. It's placing our whole worth and identity on what we are doing and not doing and how good we've done something. So when it's balanced or when it's imbalanced or blocked, here's your tuning fork back. I'm just gonna brush my hair with it like Ariel. When it's imbalanced, it's not enough for us to know that we've done well. Someone, I mean, we could get the presidential award for merit or whatever achievement, and we could still be like, oh, I still didn't do like that third step the right way. And that is me. Like, I have such problems with this, and I struggle with this. Like, I am told this is good enough, this is great, this is good, but it's not how I think it's good. So then I'm not okay with it. And there's times where you just have to be like, okay, this person's accepting of what I'm producing. It is good enough. Be okay with that. Stop being the worst critic kind of thing.
Well, and understanding that all of these things that we're doing and evolving to, it is an evolution. Like, we get better as we do it.
It's remembering that too, that you're going to get better. You know, you're not stuck where you are, and you're going to get better. But one of the other things that I have down here, we need to be acknowledged. We need to shame ourselves as failures, and that begins a cycle. And when this area is blocked, we end up trapped in a loop of fear and inaction, which feeds the paradoxical paradigm of being simultaneously better than and worse than everyone around us.
I'm a little confused by that. You're going to have to translate
Okay, so
that.
it's basically saying, like, my way or the highway, but I'm still not as good as, like, the people across the street with the greener grass. You know, I'll never...
When your chakra's imbalanced.
Right.
Yeah.
And imbalance. Those are... And I think, just from, you know, my peer group of other moms and women that I know that are my age that have young children, that's a daily struggle. You know, like, I want... This is good enough. My kids are happy in the moment. My kids are great. But
they have clothes and food.
Yeah. Whoever shoes they have on, they're still wearing some shoes. But, like, you know, like, but across the street, their yard looks so perfect, and their swing set is a different color. And who cares? That's the
They have
whole
the
thing.
best curtains.
Well,
Yes.
maybe you do care.
I do, because I was
Ooh.
raised, I'm not going to say I was raised differently. Obviously, I was, because I was an only child, and I wasn't a boy with two brothers. But, you know, like, what I grew up with was, for me, personal anecdote from my past, the decorating den truck in our driveway for months while my mom picked out everything to match, wallpaper, curtains, everything to go in our house. And now with my kids, I'm like, you're gonna ruin it anyways. So you pick out whatever you like, and as long as it's within budget, we'll go with that. And one day we'll have nice things, but right
Well,
now...
you're helping them develop their solar plexus because they can be rooted in who they are and what they like.
I want them to have that. And that's one thing that I was like, you know, when at that age with the decorating van. Do you guys remember the song, the jingle for that? Why do I remember this? Decorating, it can be so fun. Okay. Anyways, yeah.
Rabbit trail.
Yeah. Sorry.
Must be a Nashville thing.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
So yeah, Charlotte. Anyways, coming back. My mom didn't let me pick out anything that I wanted in my room. I had this textured wallpaper. You could touch it. I'm sure if any of my friends from my childhood are watching this remember this. It was like zebra stripes and cheetah fur, but it was textured on the wall, and it was pastel colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was very like
But
late
that
80s.
was super cool then at the time.
For her.
For her, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want that, but you know, it's her house. So I got to pick out a bedspread, and it all worked out. I was fine. I had a bed to sleep in a room, and everything was fine. But my kids now, I mean, like, unfortunately, it's this battle that I have within myself that I have to do things differently than how my mother did for me and raised me. And I might give them too much control of the situation in times. But, like, if my kid wants a Star Wars room, he can have a Star Wars room. There isn't anything wrong with that, you know? And then I like to use my own creative stuff to help him out and develop his solar plexus or his own likes, you know, that's his
Sense
room.
of identity.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's a sense of identity, and I want them to have that. And we struggle with that because they're so close in age, and there's 3 of them, and who they each are is so different. different, but yeah, we struggle with that. But when everything is balanced and you have that sense of self and you know what you like and you don't like, you're better able to stand up for yourself later on
That's
in life.
right. And then hopefully you start to understand that your identity isn't wrapped up in those things at all.
No.
That you may resonate with certain things, but that your identity is so much deeper than, you know, the decorations we have, the clothes we wear.
And none of that, none of that, when you get down to it, none of that is what you are. No, I mean, like, it is a reflection of you, but it's
Sure.
not who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, you know, have these, I shouldn't say it like this because it sounds kind of bad, but, you know, they have beautiful homes and they have beautiful things in their homes, but does that make them a better person? No. It doesn't make them any better than I am. I don't know these people, you know, like, I mean, it's not going to,
I
like,
just assume you have a beautiful house with beautiful things in it.
yeah. Well, let's keep assuming. So, but this is our center for self-confidence too. It's our center for individualization in the world, and having that and knowing that and keeping it healthy for children, you know, as they grow older. You know, my kids love your daughter. They told me this week, she's so smart. She knows so many things about everything. And
I tend to agree.
And I've seen her, and she, in reference to this chakra, she is her own person, and she is glorious for that. Like, I mean, she's beautiful, and that these are just, you know, things that you can see in another person, but she's a good person. I mean, you raised a really, really good daughter, but you also, I'm sure, allowed her to express and be her own person instead of telling her, no, you can't do that. No, you know.
I did some of that too.
Right, but within reason, you know. I mean, like, Sedona, she's just a beautiful person, and how she is with other people, they're attracted to her, but they know that Sedona is not going to, you know. I would not imagine. This is me. I would not imagine that I could be like, hey, Sedona, do you want to go and go get our nails done? Maybe go get some Botox or something like that. Sedona would be like, you're crazy. Like, you know, like, that's not her thing. I don't see her as being very, you know, like, frou-frou. That's not Sedona. She's a truer person than that. It's more than just surface is what I'm trying to say. You know, like, she's a deeper person.
But I think
she has a sense of self.
I think you can have that and also get Botox.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can.
You know, I mean, you can have that and also enjoy some material things.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, is that what makes you okay?
Right. And that's where I think an imbalance can occur, because so many people place so much value on what is deemed good, acceptable, perfect on an outside level versus what's internal.
Self-image is all tied up here,
Right.
and if you're out of balance, then, you know, you have this thing you have to prove by what you have, or by, you know, this label of clothes, or, you know, this brand.
Yeah.
That's what your identity's tied up in. But when you begin to heal, you can still enjoy those things when you begin to heal your solar plexus, but you're just not, that's not what makes you okay.
Right.
Yeah.
There's that thing Paul said in the Bible where he's learned to be okay when he has a lot and when he has a little.
Yeah.
It's like being okay with whatever you have. That's not what makes you. It's the happiness and the stillness of being.
Yes.
Of being you.
And I know I spent a lot of years in that play, in that power play of accumulating, and, you know, it's an empty game.
It is.
It really is. I wanted to read this. I think this is really good. When the navel solar plexus is balanced, we are energetic and confident. We're in touch with our personal power, able to follow through on ideas and see tasks through to completion. The warm fire of the navel solar plexus shines brightly, allowing us to feel cheerful, vital, strong, and alive. So when we are strong in this solar, and we go through times when we are and times when we're not, right? But we want to build a strong sense of identity and self-respect. And if others' expectation of you, we have cardinal medicine, if other people's expectations of you are taking you away from having that sense of self-respect, then we do need to look at that, and we do need to stand up in our own power in those times.
So what are some physical manifestations of an imbalance of something not 100% being right with your Manipura?
Digestive issues, addiction, fear of rejection, trying to control everything.
We're playing footsies down here. We're listening, but also.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have a whole bunch of stuff going on in your belly, then
If it's imbalanced.
if it's imbalanced, then maybe we should focus on the Manipura. Okay, so by focusing on the Manipura, since this is a yoga studio, what are some yoga things we could do to help bring about balance in this solar plexus chakra?
Sun meditation, sun salutation,
Building heat because of the
building
fire.
heat, because Kundalini, of course.
Also,
We have a Kundalini class on Thursday.
We do. Shout out to Missy with her Kundalini inspired flow on Thursdays at 11.
and like specific yoga poses, like you had said, like heart openers, and I read also like boat.
Oh, boat, yeah.
It's
That was one of the ones in these cards. I didn't bring all of them.
Boat
And
is
twists
hard.
too.
yeah, and
Twists.
twists.
Just wringing that crap out.
Navasana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you in canoe, I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a
You know, like the
fan.
twist, anything where you're focusing on
Your midsection.
energetically,
Yeah.
energetically paying attention to breathing and moving the crap literally and figuratively in this midsection.
Yeah.
That's what, so for a yoga pose, when you're in a back bend, you are stretching that junk out.
Right.
When you're twisting, you're moving some stuff along.
Because our power radiates from here.
Oh, that's a deep thought, your power. And here's something to think about. So, this is two little rabbit holes we could take on. So, as we age and with the lifestyle that we have, we sit all the time. So, what
right.
happens as we sit all the time? This area atrophies because we're no longer an active society. Like when it was an agrarian society and everybody was out, working the land or whatever, you had to move so your power source stayed strong. What is the first thing to go? Basically, this area starts to atrophy, which leads to all sorts of health ailments. But I wonder if there could be like a slippery slope to go down on with these addictions. You see a rise in different types of addictions. You see a rise in all of these issues controlling. Oh my gosh, digestion issues.
Digestion is a big one
Digestion's
for a lot of
huge.
people right now.
Yeah, it's your digestion, your vitality for life, sense of sight, your stomach, pancreas, gallbladder.
All of that stuff here.
Unless you were born without one. My husband was born without a gallbladder. He's 1 in 2 million people. And I said to him right after surgery, after they searched for 3 hours in his body for a gallbladder, I was like, "You're a mutant." And he's like, "I'm just highly evolved, Leslie. I'm not a mutant."
He's highly evolved. So we're all working towards evolving and being better people.
Our
And
liver, blood sugars. This came, like, when I see this, like, liver, blood sugars, I think diabetes, and I think, with your pancreas, stomach, and digestion and everything. When someone doesn't have, and leading to the addicting behaviors, when someone, they try and find peace in something else. And that's what, as I understand it, it gets down to the root of it. That's what most addiction is stemming from, is that someone's trying to pacify themselves.
It's always wanting more of what you don't want.
Right. You're
Trying to
seeking
fill
out
that hole.
right, and in that area, one thing that a lot of people maybe don't even realize is that they have alcohol problems, and how much alcohol they drink. That's your liver. That's your gallbladder, all that stuff that's right here on your right side, and then you have your stomach on your left side. It's all right here through this area that is your solar plexus. So if you're neglecting that, you're putting the wrong things in your body. How is that going to help any of that to function properly, to give the proper energy or blood circulation or synapses in the nerves or whatever is going on? How's that going to work properly?
So it would stand to reason that things that would heal this chakra would be things that strengthen our sense of identity, our nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
yoga poses that, you know, strengthen the core, bring power to the core, power to the sense
Or
of
remove
self.
stagnation, if you will. That's the twisting, helps to
Yes.
to get stuff moving.
Yes.
But you
And
can also have an overabundance of this energy as well.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
It's
for a
not
minute.
just, like a lack, or, you could be good, and not need help in this chakra, this area, but you can also have too much. And that's where, and from what I read, that's what a lot of men experience, where women, we identify with not having enough of this energy. Men that have excessive energy. So those that do have excessive energy in this area, they have a need to control and judge others. They quit before they succeed if they get upset, like if there's something that they feel like they can't.
Fear of failure.
Yeah.
Fear of success.
Yes, it's a fear of, like, what if I get there and then what am I going to do after that? Also, over competitive. That would be me. Taking it to extremes. Prone to childish temper tantrums, outbursts, and when you don't get your way, overly aggressive and need to dominate other people, and a control freak.
So when is this chakra area developed?
Between the ages of 18 months and 4 years. Which I was like, well, wait, last week it was like 2 years and like 6 years. But that's how they have to work together. It's your, from your sacral area, it's your identity, and then it's also your will, your, how you're going to live life, how you're going to be happy is your solar plexus. So it's this whole area. It's your gut still. It's that gut instinct, your gut feelings, what you truly love in life. It's this area that's all here. And if this area isn't taken care of, the rest of it is not going to work as like it should. That's really what I'm getting a lot from reading so much about the chakras, is that there's definite correlations between physical body parts inside of us, or, that we can see, but there's so much development in our own minds that go on at this point that deal with these areas. I wonder if there's correlation between children that might, that might be in some kind of foster situation and not have great childhoods. What is their digestive issues, or, as they get older, there's a correlation that they've found already between children that are in, bad homes usually do choose addiction in some form or another, whether it's, and not addiction meaning just drugs and alcohol, but it could be shopping, it could be, it could be drinking Diet Coke, it could be, anything really. It's how you choose to pacify that feeling that you don't want to experience, like you said. Am I on the same page? Fine.
Yeah, I think so.
You okay?
I'm just listening.
We're riding the train with you.
Yeah.
We're on here going like, good
There's
job.
so, like I said, this.
So you want to question yourself, about, like, ask yourself questions to see, check in and see where your solar plexus is. Like, are you ruled by doubt and fear?
Mhm.
Or do you have a strong need to control? And if so, can you be happy if you don't get your way? And if the answer is no, then we need to work on strengthening our
Right.
solar plexus.
There's also, and then decision making is in part fueled by this energy, and it's with help from our third eye for clarity that we can usually use that. So when we get to the third eye, I'm sure we'll come back here and touch on this. But there's positive aspects. It's not all bad from this area, but the ability to experience joy in life, your drive, your determination, your stamina, self-discipline, responsibility, your work ethic, and your perseverance. Personal empowerment and autonomy are the epitome of the third chakra, aka you need to get your ass in gear, basically, is what I read. Like, you need to do what you have to do for yourself if you want anything to work as it should.
Which is a great segue into this last 90 days challenge, and why we are doing the last 90 days challenge. And it's, again, I want to stress this enough, like, it is not a diet. I don't do diets. Like, I refuse. I ate a brownie on the way over here, which is whatever. It is what it is.
Bring me one?
That was the last one.
I
God,
didn't even mention it.
Well, that's the
that
whole
really
point.
hurts my solar plexus.
It hurts.
I don't feel important to you.
Oh, you're so
because
important,
you
but
didn't bring me a
You know
But
what?
my
I
brownie
will
was so
make
good.
better brownies than what Jennifer did, and I'll bring them, and they will be hot still, and they'll be
Okay.
better.
because I'm gonna need some hot brownies to heal my solar plexus from this rejection.
but on the flip side,
She was just trying to feed herself.
I felt that right
just
here.
I was just hungry and I wanted chocolate brownie. And so I fed myself. But no, but that's the whole point. It's like recognizing the fact that you don't necessarily, that's not to say that if there is an imbalance and there is something wrong that we shouldn't address the addiction maybe to food even.
Right.
But the last 90 days challenge is all about doing something to improve you.
Yes.
To crowd out the bad with good. The more good things that you're doing, the more wonderful things that you're doing to nourish yourself and to nourish your body, mind, and soul, then the less place there's going to be for that crap. So, ladies, how are you doing? What was maybe one of the things you wanted to work on in this last 90 days challenge?
Go for it, Merrit. You're first.
I just wanted to share the energy of the earth. I wanted to create these grids that we're doing and bring in like the nourishing elements of the earth to share with other people so that earth medicine could be appreciated. That's what my goal was through what we're doing as a yoga studio.
But what about you
And
personally?
me personally,
Uh-oh, putting you on the spot.
That face.
I'll have to go back to my notes. I think efficiency, I need to be more efficient was one of the things, and trying to add in these elements for daily mindfulness definitely helps me to see what areas I could be more efficient in and be more efficient and not feel like I'm like just running from one thing to another all day.
Yeah. And
To breathe even as I'm going through the things and bring the mindfulness into the busyness.
Ooh, that's deep. And are you taking small steps to do it?
I think so.
What's a small step you think you could share to educate me? Because I need to
be more
breathe.
efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, to breathe.
To be
to
mindful
just
in the busyness.
Remind myself when I'm feeling rushed and when I'm feeling like I have more to do than time, to just bring my presence to it, to breathe and to just be fully present regardless of what I'm doing. And then I don't have the scattered energy everywhere and I'm doing this, but I'm thinking about the 10 things I have to do later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully here now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a goal of mine.
And it works out well till I find out that I didn't show up to work.
You
What?
know, it's baby steps. It's
Right.
baby steps, and it's all about like a journey, right? Life. We weren't here for just a day. Like, what's that one little bug? Fruit flies. We get, if we're lucky, we get over 75, 80 years to experience this journey, and maybe even longer. And so it's about improving it on every step. So what about you, Leslie?
So my whole intention for the 90-day challenge and for my New Year's resolution and what I've tried to, because I'm horrible about setting these, I'm going to do this on a piece of paper and then I can't find the piece of paper, so I don't do it anymore. But it's just to be happy, because in the past year I've had a whole lot happen that's been there's happiness in it, but it's been very, very hard to find and seek out. But it's a lot of change. It's a lot of things that, I wasn't expecting. But in all of that, there's good things. But to remind myself that I'm only one person and I can only do so much. And if it doesn't feel good, not saying like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed right now because that doesn't feel good. No, like you have to get out of bed every morning. But if there's something that people are telling you this has to be done this way, go do it then. Being able to allow myself to not be in control of everything, to go ahead and do things as things need to be done. That has helped me to realize that, like, it's not just happiness that I'm seeking, it's some kind of normalcy, but it's also me realizing that I have to make myself happy.
Well, one of the areas that's so strong about the solar plexus, though, is that recognition that happiness doesn't come from outside things, the things that we do. We are that joy. And the stronger we're rooted in that, then we find that happiness within, and then we bring happiness to whatever we do. So happiness is a result, but we're not looking for it outside of ourselves. Like, things don't have to go a certain way for us to be happy. We're in a constant state of that presence and that happiness.
Where are you happiest at?
I feel pretty happy everywhere.
Like in the woods? Like, I know that you like
definitely in the woods. I feel blissful and calm in the woods.
What about you, Jennifer? Where are you most happy at?
It would be the same, somewhere outside, surrounded by nature, but it could also be the ocean, just being outside where there's not a lot of people.
What is your 90-day?
Yeah,
What was
let's
your
talk about
intention?
you.
So I love how deep y'all's were, first of all. I'm going to take a little sidebar, and I'm clearly just not that deep of a person, or I'm not there yet, but mine was just to sleep a little more and to try to take take a conscious effort of disconnecting more. Because like you were saying, this last year has been hard. I don't do goals usually. I'm really not a goal. Like, I'm a goal person, but I'm not like a New Year's resolution person.
I have visions. I do visions.
Oh, that's deep. I just am like, I'm going to get this done, and I do it. And I feel like this past year, my typical, I'm going to do this, kind of went into overdrive, and I signed myself up in the studio and my family and my poor saint of a husband for too much. And it all came to a roaring explosion with the festival, because that was bigger than I could have ever thought of, while still trying to have the studio and still have a family and still do other things on the side. So my last 90 days challenge, what resonated with me was, sure, I've got like an extra 10 pounds that I could lose if I wanted to, but I don't really care to do the work for it. So I'm kind of happy where I am. I feel like I'm already strong in my like daily devotion to physical well-being with my practice. But what I wasn't good at was disconnecting long enough and taking care of myself and nourishing myself through sleep and even if it's just 5 minutes of quiet meditation. And so my baby steps have been to try to disconnect by 10. That's my goal. It doesn't always happen. I am happy to say
I have noticed that with you. Like, I'm like, oh,
Is this why you don't answer my calls anymore?
that late. Yeah, sorry. And I did last night. I was in bed. I was asleep by 10. I got a text message from you like 15 minutes after, and I remember like sort of hearing it, and I was like, no, I need to take care of me.
And that's one way you've been a teacher for me, is you told me about putting Do Not Disturb on. And I do that. And I look at my phone when I have time.
Exactly.
I'm not ruled by the fact that it's going off 20 times.
Yeah, I bet it's been very, very good for me. I'm not there yet. Like, I was up till 12:30 a couple nights ago working on something, but
you knew when to stop. You knew that you had to tell yourself, I need to stop, instead of, I'm not saying that I've been in your shoes, because I'm not, but like I've had those nights that I look at the clock and I'm doing something and it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, is it worth 2 hours sleep before the kids wake up and start going again? You can't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can stay awake for 3 days at a time, because I've done it, but it's not helpful to anyone around you or yourself.
Not nourishing you,
right.
And it's not nourishing the
and how
nucleus
much
of
are
your
you
family.
really getting done?
Exactly.
So it's one of those, like, I'm proud of you, because I have noticed that after the festival, I was like, I haven't heard from Jennifer. Not that, you and I have, secret late night phone calls or anything, but like, we would talk until, or text or something until it was late in the evening, and there was a lot of stuff going on that needed to be addressed, and that there was a time and place. It's over from the festival and everything now, and like, I'm just really proud of you that you're taking that time for yourself.
Thank you. It was like, when I went into the summer, I had like one Elvira streak, and now if you get really close, it's gray the whole way across and down, and that I'm going to contribute to the 2019 over commitment.
Well,
and so hopefully
at least you have like something you did. I birthed Hudson and then looked in the mirror and I had gray hair.
That's a pretty big thing. That's a pretty big thing.
It was just Hudson's arrival. It was like, oh god, okay. I aged 10 years, but you need to quit being so hard on yourself. You're beautiful.
Thank you. But that's the whole point of the challenge, really, is to encourage us as a unit, the Thrive community as another unit. It's not just about the scale. I hate the scale. I kind of refuse to get on the scale most often than not. It's not the scale. It's not like what I can't have. It is what I can have. And so what's
and what you do have.
And
That's
what I
one of
do.
the mantras for
that was my next
solar-
segue.
yeah.
So what are the mantras for the solar plexus?
There's a lot actually that I found. There's I do,
Ooh.
I will. One said I be, and I was like, I can't write or say that. That's
I
not-
be.
I'll be there in a minute, I guess. But like, I'm not. Yeah, that's not grammatically correct. But who you are, what you are, what you want to be in this world, all resonates in that area.
What is your sense of power? What gives you personal power? What do you want to feed your power to?
Me personally?
No.
Oh, I thought you were
No,
asking
I'm
me.
talking to them.
Talking to
But
us.
you can
talking to
answer
you.
if you want.
I just want and this might still be something I need to work on, but I just really, really want my kids to know that they are worth everything that they want. I mean, they can do anything they want to. I want to be able to facilitate what I can for them as children, but I also want myself to know, like, I can't do everything for my kids. So, and I want to be able to teach them that happiness comes from yourself. It's not going to be given to you in Lego sets, and it's not
One
going
of
to
the
be given
best
to
gifts
you,
you can give them.
and it's not going to be given to you in a trip to Disney, because we're not doing that.
Yeah,
So-
and that balance between a strong sense of identity and entitlement.
Yes.
So, in closing for this week, I want to encourage you guys, first of all, to do something at least for 5 minutes every single day that completes you, that fills your cup, that doesn't deplete you, but fills your cup. Would love to invite you into the studio. And then if you do have a regular yoga practice or meditation practice, come and join us in the studio. Leslie teaches today,
Tomorrow.
This
Yes,
is going to go
today.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Today, Wednesday at 11:30, and Merrit also teaches on
We're gonna
Wednesdays.
do, a meditation on that strong sense of self and identity and strengthening our solar plexus.
So come and join us. And then if you are not in the Chattanooga area, don't forget you can check us out online at thriveyogaandwellness.com/thrive-online, where we have a great and growing collection of yoga videos, yoga tutorials, inspired workouts, and it's going to continue to grow with meditations and other things like that. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. Can't wait to see you soon. Go in peace.
Namaste.
Namaste.